You might have thought of Hypixel as Minecraft's biggest server, but the truth is, it is also the hub for eDaters. If you play on the server often, you might have noticed players with matching skins and cosmetics potentially doing some vile things. Now, whether that's with or without Lunar Client doesn't really matter here. What matters is the eDater market. You see, eDaters can't see each other in real life, which means that if their relationship has to work out to the best extent it can, they must either spend some time getting a job and flying each other out, or they must spend all their time together. And I do mean all of their time. Even when they sleep, they're probably on a sleep call, which is exactly what it sounds like. Today, I'll be investigating what they find so intriguing about Hypixel housing, which is where the majority of the eDater base on the server is. You might know housing as 1. The game where you can parkour, which is where all the shorts YouTubers get footage from, 2. The game where you can play simulators, or 3. The game with the most eDaters. It's essentially a game mode where you can create your own experiences and where you can play other players' experiences with a wide player base, each with their own taste. In other words, Roblox essentially. Here's the thing though, I want to make a single housing that taps into all the player markets, most of which should be relatively easy to appeal to, like parkourers and PvPers. But one major housing player base I don't understand is eDaters. Like, I understand eDating, especially if you live in a town with like 5 people in the middle of nowhere, but I wanted to figure out what makes it so intriguing in housing, as the top 2 players in the housing cookies leaderboard are TommyInnit and LEMMiNO, both players with houses where eDaters hang out. Tommy's house is relatively bare bones as he used it for a talent show video and hasn't touched it since, but for some reason people like hanging out there. And Lem's house is a bit more advanced with various different areas for gameplay and also with a bunch of eDaters. It makes sense how they're number 1 and 2, as eDaters would likely be the players who spend the most time in housing, either by sleeping there together or just by casually hanging out. I've been trying to make this video for a while, but last time I tried to interview an e-girl, well, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, knew it, bro. Damn. So today I'm doing this without trying to even touch a voice call with anyone to not take another L again. And this time I'm also not doing it alone. This is Raz, a Badline Client lead translator, one of my channel members, and also one of my friends, I guess. He's the one who initially introduced me to these housings, so it would only be fitting if I brought him along for the journey, as he could help me with this huge project. So without further ado, I went to investigate Hypixel's eDater Epidemic. And before I forget, cue the intro.
Like a goat, I am made.
My initial method to find out if people were eDaters was pretty direct. I just asked each individual person who looked like one if they were one, which probably made me look like first year than Kaya is for Tyla.
But we're friends though.
Now, unfortunately, me being me and me being dumb, I forgot to record the audio for these recordings I had. But to keep it short, I had originally started asking people in Lem's house about what makes housing intriguing for them, and then proceedingly asked people in Tommy's house the same question. The results had been narrowed down to 3 things. 1, they're bored, 2, they're lonely, and 3, they want to hang out with people. And this alone had given me an idea of what my house should look like. The initial idea was to make a long road as the main part of the map, wherein you could go to various different areas depending on your preference, which is exactly what I made. In the center, there's a park alongside a museum showcasing my one-of-one housing item which I got in this video, as it can only be placed in my houses in specific. This area would be mainly used for hanging out and showcasing how unique and special my house is compared to the other houses. To the right of the park is a forest with natural vanilla trees and a big tree in the middle, with the idea of this place being used as a more discreet place to hang out at. To the right of that, we have the boxing PvP area, which I fittingly call Queso's home. Sorry, I meant Waffle House, because it's a fast food place known to have a lot of fights, so it only made sense. I wanted to make it sumo PvP, as the customers of Waffle House in real life seem to be sumo wrestlers, but I opted for boxing instead, as that was just easier. With the addition of the Waffle House, there would also be both a kills and deaths leaderboard, just so people could grind those stats if they wanted. The kills leaderboard I left right outside of the Waffle House, while the deaths leaderboard I left near an ambulance I had built at the park. On the other side, to to the left of the park, I wanted to add something which would appeal to the simulator player base, which is when I had an idea come to mind: fishing. Raz is a Hypixel certified legendary fisher, and with his help, we set up a fishing simulator in the house with both a water fishing leaderboard, a lava fishing leaderboard, and a combined fish leaderboard with a fishing rod which could be upgraded by fishing more. To the left of the fishing area, I wanted to build a hotel, but just settled for a dorm building instead, with 28 rooms for people to hang out privately. To the left of the dorms, I added a leaderboard for total time sneaked, because why not, and one for total times joined, because why also not. At one end of the road, I added 2 leaderboards, one for total parkour completions and one for fastest parkour times, and proceeded to build the parkour across the entire roadmap. So to recap: 1. Central road of parkour, 2. Park for people to hang out at, 3. Museum just to flex, 4. Forest for discreetly hanging out, 5. Waffle house for PvP, 6. Fishing area for simulator players, 7. Dorms for hanging out privately, 8. Leaderboards all throughout the map for various things, and 9. The perfect housing experience, catering to every type of housing player there is, which is why I chose to call it Utopia. And you wanna know what's even crazier? You can play Utopia right now. Just go to the housing lobby and /visit me. I'll hang out there every once in a while, and hopefully I can also make it a place where y'all and whoever wants to can hang out there too. Also, it would be nice to get some cookies, you feel me? That leaderboard is definitely doable. Anyways, eDater or not, feel free to visit me. I'll see y'all next week.
We don't wanna hear you say
"Hey kitten."
no more. We don't wanna hear you say
"Hey kitten."
no more. Stop.